One thing we hear from customers is a POC that AI works really good, but many times it might not scale.
I don't think we need an AI strategy. We have a business strategy that AI is going to enable. So I believe that the AI's biggest help could be to create the time for people to be creative and also work with their peers, because we find that the best ideas are intersectional.
So the AI captures the present in some level, and the people have to create on top of it. And that is, AI is still not there to be able to do it. So human plus AI is going to drive it. And to do all of this, you need really high quality talent. How do you attract the best talent and excite them about L'Oréal?
For me, our culture is a big draw. A single day has never gone by where it was boring. Every single day there's something dynamic. There's a great new idea. And I also think that our mission is quite ennobling. And so the mission of creating beauty that moves the world, it really fundamentally changes people.
Welcome to the Zinnov podcast, where we bring you conversations with eminent industry stalwarts and thought leaders from across the globe as they share insights on shaping the future of enterprise growth, AI, innovation, transformation, and more.
Hello everyone, welcome to Zinnov podcast. I'm Pari Natarajan, CEO of Zinnov. I'll be your host today. I have with me Susannah Greenberg, the Chief Information Officer of L'Oréal Americas. Susannah is an accomplished technology leader with experience across industries in consumer product, financial services, and telecommunications. Prior to joining L'Oréal, she was at Citigroup for over a decade, where she focused on large-scale digital and IT transformation projects that improved overall business performance. At L'Oréal, Susannah is playing an important role in helping the evolution of the company to a beauty tech company, using AI, data, and digital platforms to reimagine what beauty means to consumers. Susannah has a great track record of delivering complex initiatives on time and on budget, as well as inspiring a technology team to innovate and deliver on meaningful business outcomes. Welcome to the podcast, Susannah.
Thank you, Pari, and thank you for having me.
Let me dive into the questions already. L'Oréal has been around for the last 100 plus years. The beauty as a category was invented by L'Oréal in some level. And in my family, my wife, my son, my daughter uses your product as a daily habit. And what I found is the product doesn't just enhance a person's appearance, but it makes them feel happier and more confident. And you have a product set which is across customer segments for different areas. Now with technology, how are you now customizing that experience for individuals? And how is it translating the role of the technology team you lead at L'Oréal?
First, Pari, I want to thank you and your family for using our products. I agree with your choices that we do have the best products in the world. And I also appreciate the sentiment that you expressed, that beauty is not only skin deep, if I can say it like that. Beauty really does make the world move. And that's actually our motto as a company: create the beauty that moves the world. And we live in a world with a lot of diversity, with so many different definitions actually of beauty. And we've studied what does beauty mean to different types of people. And indeed, it is only with the benefit of tech that we're able to keep all of those definitions in mind and then cater our messages to every type of segment. And so we think we've started collecting data years ago to try to understand who are our customers and what excites them about our products. And now we're able to take advantage of that data and maintain personalized journeys for each of those customers who has expressed interest either by telling us directly or perhaps by buying a product, and ensure that their journey to find the right product is exactly well suited for them. And I think in the future, one of the things that technology can do is actually reduce the size of those segments. So instead of having a cohort that might be women age 50 who reside in urban areas. You might have women age, 50 to 51 who reside in major cities in New Jersey. And so we may be able to go much, much deeper in terms of in terms of the way we're able to segment.
Great. And you talked about customizing to much smaller a set of customer segments. And then now the whole industry is talking about AI. And what is AI going to mean to the set of products what you're building? We work with customers across industry segments, be it in financial services, in tech and consumer products and so on. One thing we hear from customers is a POC that AI works really good, but many times it might not scale because of cost or other reasons. So from your experience, what are some of the AI use cases which is working really well for you? What are some of the challenges you've seen?
I'll first lay out the types of use cases we're seeing for AI, but I want to kind of advance the point that in many cases, the word AI can be used generically, and often we're bringing in some existing technologies that we've had for quite some time, together with some of the algorithmic and generative capabilities or algorithmic capabilities that we're seeing. But fundamentally, L'Oréal is focusing in three places in terms of its AI, and each one is intended to advance the business. Technology is at the service of the business. I don't think we need an AI strategy. We have a business strategy that AI is going to enable. And to grow the business, we think about AI for R&I cases, so research and innovation. How do we formulate better? How do we create the best products possible? We think about augmented employees. So we need our employees to have the best tools, the best workplace, the most productive opportunities because we're giving them all of the information that they need, when they need it, where they need it. And then, of course, augmented marketing, because marketing is a huge focus of ours. And it's marketing in the support of the consumer. So to really ensure that from a consumer perspective, we think about both the marriage of some AI algorithms that you might find in devices. We think about, and I'll go there, we think about beauty experience. What does beauty actually mean to people? And then finally, the consumer journey, the commercial aspect of it. So when you think about devices, we've been very public. We talked about AirLight Pro as an example. We've talked about Hapta, many devices that are using AI technologies to enable people to experience the products. So AirLight Pro is an amazing hairdryer that both is good for the environment, amazing for the hair, and goes much faster than traditional hairdryers. So it's sort of the trifecta of benefits. That was only possible because we were using very modern technologies to create. Hapta is a device that allows people to put on lipstick even if they have reduced fine motor skills. So, point being that AI in devices are allowing us to marry product, shampoo, etc., lipstick with a device, and that becomes very, very interesting. In terms of the consumer experiences, we think about diagnosing and really understanding in detail whether it's skin or hair, the best possible product, trying on the product before you buy it, making sure that the person is really fully happy with exactly the shade that they get. And then we think as well about even prediction. So imagine, and we have this today, a tool that can tell you if you follow this skincare routine, this is what you'll look like in 6 months. So it really gives people the incentive that they need in terms of being diligent with the routine and making sure that they follow it as a beauty advisor is sharing. So really an incredible number of ways to experience beauty. But I think a fascinating one that's come out during the pandemic is the concept of filters. So let's say you wake up and you have a call really early in the morning and maybe you don't have time to put on that lipstick or blush. The filters allow people to virtually put it on, which is an incredible concept that L'Oréal is advancing together with Microsoft. And then finally, on the consumer journey, we've advanced the consumer journey. It used to be very print advertising, and now as we've gone forward into a fully digital world, we know that AI is coming next very quickly. And I don't know if you've heard the stat, but a lot of shopping is now coming from these engines like Perplexity. I heard a stat of 10%. Not sure if that was fully balanced, but it's coming. And so that changes the whole nature of how people are actually going to find and discover and understand and learn about our products. And so that's obviously an area that we're thinking about as well.
It's very interesting that you're using AI in the product and how customers are experiencing a product, right? The whole digital beauty seems like an interesting concept where you're working with Microsoft in those areas. And your point on how the discovery happens using AI, and for my wife's birthday, I just described her persona in ChatGPT and then asked for, hey, on the Madison Street, do you have any suggestions for shops? And it gave me two. I went into the shop, exactly they had what she likes and got it. And I told the person in the shop that this is how I found your shop. And they found it so fascinating, but they have never realized that AI is a discovery platform.
Yeah.
So you've seen it across. You're using AI for products. You're using AI in terms of the customer experience. You're using AI for the marketing campaigns and all of that. What about for your own team? How are they using AI, right? If you go and talk to board, a lot of time they want AI investment to be, the ROI should come from employee productivity. But I'm pretty sure like there are things you could do beyond employee productivity to enable employees to innovate and come up with new creative ideas and so on. So how are you using AI from an employee perspective?
We've been wildly successful with the tool we call L'Oréal GPT. And it started with the basic, actually, cybersecurity premise, data privacy, that because we commit to keeping all of our customers' information secure, we needed to make, and of course our marketing plans, et cetera, have to be secure. We needed sort of a four-walled garden to put all of our information into so that the algorithms and the LLMs can learn. And so we've created this platform that brings in the world's most innovative and fast and accurate models to sort of come into our environment and process all of our information. We have 2/3 of the company, and remember, it's a huge company worldwide, so over 60,000 people are logging into it. We get 15,000 people daily. It's wildly successful. And that success has been enabled via trainings, as well as a lot of advocacy internally. And we, at every occasion that we can, we try to explain to people what they can achieve out of L'Oréal GPT. And fundamentally, it's similar to a ChatGPT, but more specifically, it's all trained on the L'Oréal data. And so we went from general points around things you would ask, I'm doing a presentation, please give me some information about XYZ. Now we're building more purpose-specific companions. So we're rolling out a new system, and we want people to be able to query the training material. And so it's sort of a companion concept for a specific purpose. So you might have an HR companion, you might have a accounting companion. We have a cyber companion. Our next step there is to think about personal companions. So there's a Susannah companion, there might be a Pari companion. So everybody is looking for support, and our idea is really that AI is there to augment the people. And the more personalized and individualized, just like we talked about on the consumer, but here we're thinking about employees as well. The more individualized we can make those companions, the more effective they're going to be. But I want to go back to your point on innovation, because the companions are there to really help people maybe get started, compare a lot of material, generate some nice images, which we typically will use internally. But at its core, as you would know, the algorithm is not that creative, right? The way it works under the covers, of course, is it's pulling together the sum total of everything that it knows, and then it's predicting what's the best way to answer the question. But something net new to the world, the AI is not going to come up with.
Not yet.
So I actually believe that the marriage of people with AI will be the most effective. but actually it puts the onus on the people, on our teams, on our amazing creatives, to actually spend more of their time being creative, because we've taken away some of the low value work. We've taken away some of the look up this and put it there and check that, etc., because the AI is doing the basics. Now we want people to come up with the breakthrough ideas. So I believe that the AI's biggest help could be to create the time for people to be creative and also work with their peers, because we find that the best ideas are intersectional, where we're bringing together a couple of different types of minds to think about a new campaign or a new product. And it should create more time for people to have that in-person collaboration, or perhaps on-screen collaboration, to bring their ideas together. So I believe that the innovations will likely come from the people, and the tools are there to augment, almost like lipstick on a person. It's there to make the people more pretty, more beautiful, but it's not going to change the fundamental ownership of the person for the creative.
Very interesting. So the AI, well, captures the present in some level, and the people have to create on top of it. And that is, AI is still not there to be able to do it. So human plus AI is going to drive it. I also like the point about collaboration, how the creative aspect come together when people work together, and the AI is enabling that creativity in teams, which is fascinating.
Exactly. It's that synthesizing approach that's amazing.
And to do all of this, you need really high quality talent. And a few months ago, one of the CEOs of a tech company talked about paying millions of dollars to hire talent from OpenAI and other companies. So you're hiring from the same pool of talent, right? Financial services company, tech company, everyone hiring. How do you attract the best talent and excite them about L'Oréal?
For me, our culture is a big draw. I mean, I've stayed here longer than I've ever stayed at a company, and a single day has never gone by where it was boring. Every single day there's something dynamic. There's a great new idea. There's creativity in the hallways. So I do think that our corporate culture is part of our key to success. And I also think that our mission is quite ennobling. And so the mission of creating beauty that moves the world, it really fundamentally changes people. And I think we've realized through studies, through talking to people, that beauty is not skin deep. It's really quite essential. And it speaks to people in an emotional way that just creating tech, let's say if we were to compare ourselves to some of the tech giants, it's just not quite the same. So we're probably getting a slightly different type of person. And being in New York, which is the epicenter of where you find a lot of creativity and a lot of people who are excited about the brand, I think it's a big enabler to us. But individually, on top of that, we are focusing as well on AI for IT. And for me, AI enablement of IT people, AI augmentation of IT people is one of the most exciting developments of this year. So we were talking a lot about sort of generic L'Oréal GPT, but we also know that the models are very powerful at generating code, at generating test scripts, at testing the fundamentals of a business case to make sure that we don't have competing or contradicting requests coming at us. So we're working now to ensure that our IT teams are having the best tooling, so that, again, this concept that the people are there to do the really heavy value added work, the creativity, the adapting the tools to the needs of the business. And we can have a code generator that's generating code to the basic code. Of course, it creates the question of who will the experts be in 5 years from now? And so we're struggling with that and really trying to work through the question of how to balance the expertise that we know we need to continue to maintain with the productivity that the tools give. And so it's always a balance to make sure that we're giving the right tools to the right people, but not hindering the development of the expertise.
Got it. So the purpose, especially around purpose of making people beautiful, and that has multiple implication, and individuals can see it on the daily life, and that the purpose attracts talent into L'Oréal, and then the tooling of it's an icing on the cake in terms of giving them the AI tooling. And you talked about having a very strong creative team in New York City, but also how are you tapping into talent across the globe and your partners and startups? So, what is the approach versus what you do in New York versus leveraging the overall ecosystem?
Yeah. And Pari, it's interesting you raised the question because we have done some work together actually with Zinnov to really think about the Americas, because that's my scope, and think about what belongs where. And I think with your help, we came to the realization that actually Mexico is a place of tremendous opportunity, and it's a location where we could be building out significantly. And Mexico also gives us a wealth of tech talent, and it gives us a proximity to the business because L'Oréal is quite strong in Mexico. And it also allows us to have same time zone and the Spanish language and sort of the Latin American culture, which is so important to both to Latin American countries, and I think Spanish is now the second most popular language as well in the U.S. And so we're still working through exactly how we position the teams. We're considering it sort of one large team, but bringing in a lot of the technical skills directly into Mexico because that gives us also an agility and adaptability. I mean, I think we've worked a lot with amazing partners. We partner with the platform companies like a Google. We partner with the big integrators, for example, Accenture. But we also believe there's a role for L'Orealians and a certain agility that comes from not having to write a contract every time a new idea comes up, for having the team be able to prototype. And so we're very excited. I'm very excited about bringing in more tech talent into Mexico and growing that area.
Very interesting, and it was great to work with your team to explore what is possible in Mexico. Good to see that you're on the way of setting up and driving innovation from Mexico. And getting into the final question, if you don't have any constraints, what do you see in the next 5 to 10 years? The intersection of beauty and technology would mean. What are the art of the possible?
It's a great question and one I think about. So this will be my view and not constrained by realities or fears. I think formulation for one. So we talked about personalizing a marketing journey, but actually being able to formulate the right product that's exactly geared to you or me or your wife or your daughter. I think could be incredible. Of course, it means that our manufacturing can be very, very small batch. It means that we would need more automation. We would need to actually be able to formulate maybe in real time. But I think that could be incredible. We're starting to study the relationship between beauty and longevity, between ingredients and health, and being able to have sort of exactly the right formula from all of those angles for each individual is something that really excites me. I think in terms of AI, we talked in the early days of Gen AI about emotions and can the AI have emotions? I don't believe that the AI will have emotions, but I do believe that our tools will be better at realizing emotions and coding the emotions and being able to decode those emotions. I think that can become a very interesting space of advancement for us in terms of that intersection, because the beauty is to drive the world, and we can probably do a better job of reading on people's faces how actually the makeup or the skin, et cetera, is making them feel, which then motivates productivity, action, positivity, as you said. For me, those are a couple of the exciting opportunities that I think the world may bring us, but let's see.
It's fascinating to beauty for each person customized. Even the formula could be potentially customized.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the robotics and automation has to come a bit more than where they are to be able to deliver. Thanks a lot, Susannah. I enjoyed the conversation. I learned quite a bit in terms of what you're doing around technology broadly in the beauty industry, how you're leveraging AI for your customers, leveraging AI for your own team, and able to attract really high quality team and expanding not just in the US and New York City, but expanding into Mexico and other locations. And I'm also fascinated by some of your future predictions. Hopefully, some of it comes true as well.
I certainly hope so. And thank you, Pari, for a great conversation and thought-provoking questions.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in the podcast. Till the next one. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Zinnov podcast. Stay tuned for more such interesting episodes. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or any of your favorite streaming platforms. To know more about Zinnov, visit our website at www.zinnov.com or drop us a note at info@zinnov.com. Follow us on LinkedIn at Zinnov for regular updates on our content. Thank you once again for listening to the Zinnov podcast.